Final four then here at the third Players' Championship event of 2023, and the Iceman, Gerwyn Price, the highest ranked player in the field in the absence of the world's top three today, has worked his way through to the semi-finals against a brilliant Belgian, Kim Huybrechts, who's produced some excellent stuff in getting to this stage. Over on stream 2, it will be Germany's Gabriel Clemens against Canada's Matt Campbell for a place in the final, taking on the winner of this match, which is going to be called by myself, Chris Murphy, in the company of Dan McCarthy.
Bullseye.
Yeah, this is a match which I think could produce fireworks, really. They've had a bit of needle in the past. The World Championship battle they had a couple of years ago. A cordial fist bump between the pair as they get proceedings off and underway, but safe to say it's two of the more aggressively minded players on tour.
26.
Players who've had very good days, though. I mean, that's been a great start to the game for Gezi Price, only hitting 26. But Huybrechts, in particular, has looked really, really good today. 112 average against Devon Peterson to start off the day. And he may not have reached those heights since, but he's had some really good wins against Josh Rock in the quarter-finals. He had to withstand a comeback from Rocky, but managed to get the last leg to win by 6 legs to 5. So very much an interesting and intriguing game in prospect.
Yeah, you did that match over on stream 2, and there was a little bit of needle in that one, wasn't there?
Yeah, we couldn't really work out why, me and Dan, whether there was a bit of encroachment or dark clicking. There was nothing obvious on there, but
108.
When Rock pinned the double to make it 5-all, he did the customary fist bump and Huybrechts rejected him, so clearly there was a bit of needle between the pair. They shook hands on the conclusion of the game. Huybrechts with a chance here for a dream start, a break of throw. It's not going to come, and he doesn't leave it as handy as he would like.
160 on offer for Price. He's had a couple of 1-4-3 finishes today. First leg in his last 16 match, and almost the first leg in the semi-final. Sees him take out 160, and it makes Huybrechts have to hit this if he's going to break, and he has. First leg, first blood to Kim Huybrechts.
Excellent start for the Belgian. Slightly extended format, as you'll probably know if you're a usual watcher of Players' Championship events. It's first to 7. Already that one break of throw for Kim Huybrechts, and
100.
Just looks very comfortable. He looks confident on the oki. Even against a player of Price's magnitude, he's not going to be overawed by him.
140.
You mentioned those battles they've had. It's actually very close head-to-head between the pair. 6-5 in Price's favour. The only
96.
sort of thing you can say to back up Price's credentials in this one is that it's now 4 years almost since Huybrechts actually won, and it was in the corresponding Players' Championship event of 2019, PC3, when Huybrechts won that in the last leg decider. Price in the 3 meetings since then, all of them on the big stage, World Grand Prix, European Championship, and then that ill-tempered Ali Pali clash that Dan mentioned.
64.
Yeah, it's been a longer wait for Kim Huybrechts, and he's a player that's on the ascendancy, I'd say. He fell out of the top 32 in the world rankings for a while. 17 for tops. And he does love tops, Gerwyn Price.
97.
But that one was dragged well low of the target. So Price to extend his lead on his own throw.
69.
Well, if he is going to win this semi-final, those are the opportunities that he has to take. Unless Price is feeling particularly charitable, double 5.
15.
Not the fireworks I expected.
This to double his lead, and he does. A little bit of an apology there from Kim Huybrechts. You know, part of me wonders whether that in itself is a bit of a mind game.
98.
Yeah, it probably is. He's going to do all he can to try and win the game. Gerwyn Price, not really one for interaction with his opponent when he's on the oki.
But he likes to command the stage or the
60.
oki in this floor scenario. Almost as act as if his opponent isn't there at all. Gerwyn Price. Kim Huybrechts there just making it known that it was a leg that Price lost as much as a leg that Huybrechts won.
177.
Lovely visit from Price, as good as a maximum.
136.
Not a bad riposte from Huybrechts, clearly looking for the ball in the second dart.
Yeah, I can see the thinking behind that. Eddie at the 25 could have moved down for 19s, then only needed one treble. Needs two here for what would have been a dart at double 12. Instead,
36.
Price, well, he's got choices to make. Goes the ball route and needs to finish on it.
70.
Well, he went safety first to guarantee him a dart at the bull. Double break for Huybrechts, and it's in. Kim Huybrechts is racing away with this semi-final. We were making our predictions before we came on air and thought that with the semi-final lineup as it is, Gerwyn Price was certainly the man to beat, but a lot of work to do now.
Absolutely. Longer race, so still a bit more time to get into the match, but I don't think many, certainly Price himself, would have seen it going this way in the early stages. Now, Huybrechts has hit more maximums than anybody today. 18 going into the semi-finals. Price has hit 14.
$100.
Looks to be a much closer contest in the other semi-final. Available to watch on the other streaming board. 2 apiece between Gabriel Clemens and Matt Campbell. Price fills up the treble 18 to leave himself 140.
Price getting past Andrew Gilding in the quarterfinals. He was 3-0 down in that one. Before winning it in a last leg decider. Wins before that against Callum Goffin, James Hurrell, Scott Williams and Richard Veenstra.
Game shot.
Maybe he's starting to mount a comeback. 3-0 down against Gilding and he came back. Can history repeat itself?
For Huybrechts, that match against Josh Rock, we spoke about, the only one that went the distance
140
for him in making the last 4. Some very, very decent wins for him. That 112 average, the standard
83.
setter in his opening game, a 6-1 defeat of Devon Peterson, but the very impressive Dylan Slevin beaten in the second round. Then Nathan Aspinall has been in good form, as has the German talent Riccardo Pietrusco, who Huybrechts swept aside 6-2 in the last 16.
59.
Yeah, we obviously say that any run to a Pro Tour title is a difficult one, but
57.
Huybrechts in particular has had to overcome some real obstacles, and he's managed to do it.
And not all the biggest name players, but certainly in-form players. Players that have been riding waves. Now, is he going to go for the bullseye here? If he does hit that, we will never know.
124.
All he can do instead is leave it handy, and when Gerwyn Price is on top with 3 darts in his hand, usually his opponent's in trouble.
59.
Usually in trouble, but top sitting has not been too spectacular, but that one was dead centre of the target. Kim Huybrechts' 3-leg advantage is slowly but surely being wiped out here.
$125. $96.
Premier League night winner Gerwyn Price in Cardiff a couple of weeks ago. It was a rare scenario where absolutely everyone in the crowd was on his side. He was wearing
140.
red for the Wales rugby colours. just seemed destined to be a night that had belonged to the Iceman, and he had a very jovial final with Nathan Aspinall. I mentioned earlier that Price doesn't necessarily like mixing with his opponent during the game, but very, very good-spirited.
125.
Yeah, and he opted out of the Pro Tours following that as well, Price. So this would be a real statement victory if he went on to win the tournament today, his first floor outing of the season. But Huybrechts will have something to say about that.
All he can do is apply maximum pressure. Maximum pressure with a maximum visit. And all of a sudden this double 10 looks trickier for Kim. Has to step across. Big bounce out there.
No score.
Well, that first start was clearly really, really awkward. It landed near the bottom of the double 10 bed, and he could be punished. 3 apiece, as quick as a flash. Gerwyn Price is now favourite for this game once again.
Yeah, he's put out the fire, hasn't he? Gerwyn Price. Back on throw. Back in the box seat.
60.
And he's turned it on. He's putting on a performance.
Ooh. 125.
2 lovely darts in the treble 20, and then the third one a mile off in the single 5.
99.
You're absolutely right, Chris. The fact that he decided to skip the first 2 Pro Tours last week. The top players do have to manage their schedules, particularly
41.
between now and May, when they're on the Premier League Roadshow every Thursday. You are going to see all 8 players, I think, at some point decide to skip the Players'
97.
Championships, maybe with the exception of Chris Dobie, who still needs that ranking money that comes from them.
Yeah, I wonder if those conversations actually go on in the Premier League practice rooms, and whether they keep the cards close to the chest, or whether Price has gone to Michael Smith, Peter Wright and Van Gogh, are you playing next week? And they've gone, no, we're missing it. Right, yeah. I'll enter that one then.
It wouldn't surprise me if that's the case, because if you know that some of your biggest rivals are going to be skipping events,
59.
You'll enter. In your mind, you'll have a better chance of winning. I wonder if they've got a little WhatsApp group, the Premier League players. Yeah,
it will certainly be interesting. We are missing the world's top 3. It makes Price the highest ranked player in this tournament. Of course, not the top seed. That's done from the Pro Tour Order of Merit, and it was Luke Humphries.
96.
25 and tops. Well, can Kim Huybrechts give Price a problem here? Be looking at the 19s. And now he wants to hurt Price by hitting his favourite double twice.
Absolutely glorious from Kim Huybrechts. He's put his hand up to apologise again. Gets the fist bump from Gerwyn Price. Big smile on the face of the Welshman. Not something I expected to see between the 2 players, but Gerwyn Price appreciates the skill involved to take out 2 tops like that. 99 is one of the more difficult finishes, because even though it's a 2-figure number, it is a 3-dart checkout.
Yeah, I think the smile came especially because Price himself had just missed 2 darts at tops before Huybrechts put 2 in it.
122.
Price dropping his darts before he even reaches the oche. He must have knocked on so many days in his rugby career.
100.
It's not rare, is it, to see Price drop his darts, but when you speak to some of the great analysts and former pros, etc., they say it's in a way a good thing, because the most common mistake that an amateur darts player does is holding the dart too tight. Price again has to pick one up off the floor. No danger of that from him.
97.
Yeah, it's a lovely light grip that he's got. Gerwyn Price. And whenever you think about players who've got really aesthetically pleasing throws, you don't often hear Gerwyn Price's name mentioned, but he's very smooth. One little rock back and then he releases. The follow through is good.
Type of throw you'd teach, isn't it? Double 16 is Kim Huybrechts' den. Double 8.
Game shot.
And having lost the last 3 legs, he's now 1-2 on the spin. And is now 2 away from the win.
100.
Four apiece in the other semi-final between Gabriel Clemens and Matt Campbell.
85.
I'll revise that because Clemens has just gone 5-4 up, looking to
55.
become only the second German player to win a PDC title. The other being Max Hopp, who lost his tour card at the end of last season, failed to win it back, so it's always precarious being on the PDC tour. And that's why consistency and longevity, such key aspects for any darts player.
58.
4 different nationalities in these semi-finals. We had 8 different nationalities in the quarter-finals, and that's the first time that's ever happened at a Players' Championship event.
And I think it's a great thing. It shows that darts as a sport is widening around the globe. Its appeal is widening, and
140.
as a result, players from countries that don't necessarily play much darts deciding to make a go of things. Price looking to keep this handy.
Well, it's been a match of bursts, hasn't it? 3-0 to Huybrechts, 3-3. And it's another 3 on the spin for the Belgian, who now leads by 3, and he's only 1 away from a place in the final.
And the surprise levels, if Price wins the next 3 to make it 6-all, would be 0. It's been that kind of game.
99.
But now, of course, he simply has to. Firmly feet planted over the tungsten trapdoor here, Gerwyn Price. And when Kim Huybrechts produced that performance in his first match of the day, 112 average
180.
against Devon Peterson, firing in the maximums for fun like that. That's 20 for the day now for the Belgian. Everybody sort of stood up and took note and thought, you know what, Huybrechts is playing well again. Maybe today will be the day that Kim Huybrechts starts winning tournaments again.
82.
And who knows, it could be a real catalyst for many more to come.
The man who used to be there and thereabouts so often, but hasn't picked up a title for some time. 2015, his last one.
100.
He's got a great chance now, leaving tops. You don't get selected twice for the Premier League for no reason. Huybrechts has talent, and he could be about to complete the victory with 3 in hand. Only needs 1 dart, and Kim Huybrechts has reached the final of Players' Championship 3. Perhaps you would say against the odds. He had to withstand a mini fight back from Gerwyn Price, but then Kim Huybrechts with a real burst towards the end of the game, winning 4 on the bounce. And in the final, he's going to take on either Gabriel Clemens or Matt Campbell. 95 average to Price's at 97, but it's Kim Huybrechts who's prevailed.